Students, I wanted to take the opportunity to show you how to use special characters in your genopods whenever you have to do your homework. For instance, this problem, for those of you who are in Algebra 2, you'll see this is a problem that will require you to use a square root symbol. In order to get to your special characters, you will see this little grid right here below your answer field. Click that, and it will give you some options of which type of keyboard to use. In this case, I'm going to select the algebra keyboard, and it's going to give me all of these options to insert. So the answer to this question, the dimensions are in meters, the answer to this question is going to be 4 times the square root. Notice I just clicked the square root symbol and it inserted itself. 4 times the square root of 5. Okay, and that is going to be in meters squared. So I have to click the exponent key and put a 2 to represent meters squared. So that is how you use special characters in the genopods. You don't have to type them in a different program and copy and paste. All you have to do is open the keyboard function and click whatever you like. Let's say that, for instance, I'm going to take all this out. Let's say that the answer was a fraction. I would click the fraction key and I would type the first number, press the space bar and go to the bottom and type the next number, and then press the space bar again, and I have exited that particular format. Now let's say I needed another format. Let's say I wanted a square root. You could click the square root and it opens it up, and I could type in square root of 4. You want to press the space bar to exit that character to move on to the next one. The reason you want to hit the space bar is what if you need to type more than just that. You need to go on to something else. Like, for instance, if I had a number that was, let me take all this out so you can see it better, a whole number and a variable, and that variable had an exponent of 2. If I hit the space bar, I can come back down and put in another variable, and I can even do another exponent. I hit the space bar to exit and come back down to the main line, and I can put in even another variable. So these are all things that you might need to do while typing your math or your science or some other subject. If you need to type a slightly different format of the same character, like for instance, if you needed to do a cube root, click this shift button or hold the shift key down on your keyboard, and it gives you some different options. So for instance, when I click the shift key here, it gives me the option to create a different root. So for instance, I could put 8 and then I press the space bar and it takes me up to the index, and I could type in a 3. So now I'm looking for the cube root of 8. So this allows me to use different characters within Jupyter to give a better answer. So instead of typing a fraction like this on your answer field, you can type it in a proper fraction format, and what happens is the system sees that and knows exactly what that is. It knows it's a fraction and there's no doubt. Whereas if you typed it this way, it isn't sure if it's a fraction or a date or what it is. Okay, so using the correct character keyboard and using the right character button is important in having your work graded properly. So be sure to explore clicking this button right over here, this little grid. This is your keyboard shortcut. Now if you don't want the keyboard, you can click hide keyboard. If you want a different keyboard, you can click a different keyboard. You have basic math, where you can just type in various symbols. When you hit the shift key, you have a couple of different symbols. You have the degree function, greater than or equal to, less than or equal to, not equal to, etc. There's a chemistry keyboard, which allows you to type in chemistry functions, which you may or may not use this year. The majority of my pre-algebra, algebra, and geometry students are going to use the algebra keyboard for most of their work. So keep that in mind. Remember to use that when you do your homework. It's going to help you a lot. Also, teachers, you have this function in creating genopods. It's called keyboard. It's right under the answer field. All you have to do is click it and you get the exact same options in creating your lessons. And that is all I have for today. See you soon.